1. Which adult learning principle is most effective when teaching wine tasting to beginners? A. Rote memorization. B. Experiential learning. C. Passive observation. D. Lecture-based learning. 2. What is the primary purpose of the WSET systematic approach to tasting, S8? A. To memorize wine brands. B. To provide a structured method for evaluating wines. C. To improve wine storage techniques. D. To increase sales of premium wines. 3. When developing a WSET curriculum, what should be prioritized first? A. Student learning outcomes. B. Visual design of materials. C. Wine price lists. D. Number of tasting sessions. 4. Which mentoring technique is most effective in a WSET classroom setting? A. Providing immediate feedback and guidance. B. Allowing students to work entirely independently. C. Only giving feedback at the end of the course. D. Relying on peer feedback exclusively. 5. During a WSET exam, what is the most important regulatory compliance to follow? A. Ensuring all wines are consumed. B. Strictly adhering to the WSET exam rules and timing. C. Encouraging discussion among candidates. D. Sharing tasting notes with others. Which communication method is most effective for explaining tasting descriptors? A. Demonstration and discussion. B. Handing out a list of descriptors without explanation. C. Reading aloud from a textbook. D. Asking students to memorize descriptors. 7. What is the best way to assess a student's tasting skill? A. Multiple choice questions only. B. Blind tasting with structured evaluation. C. Oral discussion without structure. D. Asking the student to write wine brand preferences. 8. In WSET level courses, which factor is critical when selecting wines for tasting? Wine popularity. B. Representation of key grape varieties and regions. Cost of wines. D. Color of the wine labels. 9. Which evaluation method provides the most accurate assessment of a student's wine knowledge? A. Written exams and structured tasting. B. Oral questioning only. C. Peer evaluation. D. Participation in discussions only. 10. How can adult learners best retain information about wine regions? A. Through interactive mapping and tasting exercises. B. By reading text only. C. By memorizing facts without practice. D. Watching videos without engagement. 11. Which communication strategy helps clarify complex tasting notes? Using simple, relatable analogies. B. Reciting technical terms only. C. Reading from a textbook. D. Avoiding student questions. 12. What role does feedback play in mentoring WSET students? A. Reinforces learning and corrects misconceptions. Only serves as criticism. C. Is optional for advanced learners. D. Should be delayed until the end of the course. 13. Why is standardization important in WSET examinations? A. To ensure consistent evaluation and fairness. B. To make exams easier. C. To reduce the number of questions. D. To allow subjective scoring. 14. Which approach is most effective when teaching wine faults? A. Practical tasting of faulty and good examples. B. Lecture without tasting. C. Only showing pictures. D. Discussing theory without application. 15. How can a WSET instructor encourage critical thinking in tasting? A. Asking students to compare wines and justify their evaluations. B. Providing all answers directly. C. Limiting tasting to a single wine. D. Focusing solely on memorization. 16. What is the best method to support diverse learning styles in WSET courses? Combining visual, auditory, and kinesthetic activities. B. Relying only on lectures. C. Using text-only materials. D. Only using tasting without theory. 17. How should an instructor handle regulatory compliance for alcohol consumption in class? Follow local laws and WSET guidelines strictly. B. Ignore legal limits if educational. C. Encourage unlimited tasting. D. Rely on student discretion. 18. Which strategy improves memory retention for grape varieties? A. Tasting wines while associating sensory characteristics with region and style. B. Memorizing lists of grapes without tasting. C. Reading notes without practice. D. Watching videos only. 19. What is the primary goal of the WSET tasting examination? A. Evaluate sensory analysis and written evaluation skills. Test wine brand recognition. C. Encourage social tasting. D. Promote retail sales. 20. Which mentoring practice helps build student confidence? A. Positive reinforcement and guided practice. Criticism without guidance. C. Ignoring student mistakes. D. Limiting opportunities to taste. 21. How can an instructor effectively teach wine labeling laws? Using examples from multiple regions with comparison. B. Reading statutes only. Memorizing law texts. D. Avoiding real-life application. 22. When designing WSET course materials, what should be included first? A. Learning outcomes aligned with assessment. Decorative images. C. Price lists of wines. D. Instructor biography. 23. What is the most effective way to teach aromatic recognition? A. Using aroma kits and structured sensory exercises. B. Asking students to guess randomly. C. Reading aromatic descriptors. D. Only tasting wine without guidance. 24. How should a WSET instructor handle students with varying tasting experience? A. Differentiate instruction and provide individual guidance. B. Treat all students identically. C. Focus only on beginners. D. Focus only on advanced students. 25. Which communication skill is critical when delivering feedback? A. Constructive and specific feedback. B. General comments only. C. Negative reinforcement only. D. Avoiding direct feedback. 26. Why is it important to include both practical and theoretical elements in WSET courses? A. To ensure comprehensive understanding and skill development. B. To increase course duration. C. To reduce instructor workload. D. To focus on wine sales. 27. How can an instructor verify that students understand wine tasting methodology? A. Observing and assessing structured tasting exercises. B. Asking them to repeat definitions. C. Providing notes only. D. Conducting informal discussions. 28. Which strategy ensures fairness in WSET grading? Following WSET grading rubrics precisely. B. Adjusting scores for student effort. C. Grading based on popularity of answers. D. Relying on subjective judgment. 29. What is the most effective way to teach wine-food pairing? A. Guided tasting exercises with explanations of flavor interactions. B. Listing theoretical rules only. C. Asking students to guess. D. Reading pairing tables only. 30. How can instructors best support reflective learning in WSET courses? A. Encourage tasting journals and self-assessment. B. Focus on lectures only. C. Avoid student reflection. D. Use multiple choice only. 31. Which factor is most critical in preparing students for WSET exams? A. Structured practice with feedback and mock exams. B. Memorizing wine regions only. C. Tasting without guidance. D. Watching online videos. 32. How should instructors address common wine tasting misconceptions? A. Demonstrate correct evaluation with examples. B. Ignore misconceptions. C. Only discuss theory. D. Accept any student answer. 33. Why is consistent terminology important in WSET teaching? A. Ensures clear communication and accurate assessment. B. Makes lectures longer. C. Reduces need for practical exercises. D. Helps sell more wine. 34. What role does questioning play in adult learning? A. Stimulates critical thinking and engagement. Confuses learners. C. Tests only memory. D. Discourages discussion. 35. Which approach is best for teaching wine styles to diverse learners? A. Comparing sensory characteristics across multiple examples. B. Describing one style only. C. Focusing on wine history. Using text only. 36. How can instructors evaluate student progress effectively? A. Combination of structured tastings, written work, and discussion. B. Relying on self-assessment only. C. Asking informal questions. D. Observing without feedback. 37. Why is mentor-student rapport important in WSET courses? A. Encourages engagement, confidence, and effective learning. B. Reduces course length. Increases wine sales. D. Improves wine labeling. 38. What is the most effective way to teach regional wine laws? A. Using case studies and examples from different countries. Reciting laws only. Memorizing legal texts. D. Ignoring practical implications. 39. How should an instructor introduce a new grape variety? A. Present background, tasting examples, and discussion. Ask students to memorize the name. C. Avoid tasting. Focus on pricing only. 40. What is the key benefit of structured sensory analysis in WSET? A. Provides objective framework for evaluating wines consistently. B. Reduces need for tasting. C. Focuses on wine price only. D. Encourages subjective opinions.